So dodecahedrons or dabinos, a couple of names you came up with. We're gonna go over quarterbacks and then also the who you should pick, like who we would pick for just a regular dynasty startup or and a superflex dynasty startup. So we'll just begin. I had Jalen Hurts. He had a concussion last year in Week 16, but he played through everything after missing those final 2 games, especially in the playoffs. As you all saw, he won the Super Bowl. His target percentage with like catchable passes, where like they're accurate enough to where the receiver should get it. In 2022, it was 77.8. In 2023, it was 78.9. In 2024, it was 79.1. His bad throw percentage went from 14.2 in 2022, 14.3 in 2023, and 13.4 in 2024. His rush touchdowns are consistent and the basis for why you want him in Dynasty and Fantasy in general. He has 13 rushing touchdowns 2022, 15 in 2023, and 14 in 2024. And his fumbles, funny enough, he's had 9 every single year from rookie year to now his 5th year.
Keep it consistent.
Keep it consistent with the rushing or the fumbles. All right. So he only had 361 pass attempts in 2024. Even if Saquon gets hurt, I think Hurts has proven that he's going to be an effective passer regardless. He still has A.J. Brown. He still has Devontae Smith. He still has Dallas Goedert, I guess. But tush push ain't going nowhere. They didn't rule against it, and they're going to continue to use it and use it very effectively. This is Hurts' peak, though, so I would try to trade him this year or next year. Get picks, package to get an elite running back or a receiver with a less experienced quarterback. And don't get bullied for less because those rush touchdowns are a huge deal. Everybody will come tell you, oh, yeah, he only had 18 pass touchdowns last year. So what? He had another 14 touchdowns. That he had 32 total touchdowns. That's where most of his points are going to come from, and there's no stopping a tush push, obviously. So yeah, I would try to trade him this year, next year. If you aren't a contender. If you are a contender, I would probably keep him at least this year and then try to make a decision over the offseason.
And then my first quarterback was Joe Burrow. Last season, he had 70.6 completion percentage. He had 4,918 passing yards, 43 touchdowns, and 9 picks. And I do think Joe Burrow is like a top 4 quarterback in the league. It also helps that he has 2 elite wide receivers. And it also helps that he has a bottom 10 defense. So they're always getting scored on. So the rushing attack isn't going to be as strong as their passing attack. This coming season, they have a very easy schedule, at least according to pass defense. They need to start out strong this year. This would be the 3rd year in a row they started out 1-4, which is crazy to me. They were 6th in points per game last year. And he had a 652 pass attempts, and 507 were on target, so it was 11.6% on bad throws. And he was that's still a lot. He was pressured 155 times, but only sacked 14 times. So gets rid of the ball pretty quickly.
And then I had good old Sam Darnold, Minnesota Miracle. He has had no significant injuries since 2022. His target percentage, catchable passes. I only used 2019 to 2021 because last 2 years before Minnesota, he only played, I think, 10 games with Carolina, and then a couple with.
He was on the Niners before that.
The Niners. He only played like 3 games with the Niners. So 2019, he had a 75.2%. Were accurate or where a receiver could actually catch it. 71.8 in 2020 and 74.5 in 2021. It jumped up massively in 2024, 77.7. Of course, with Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson and T.J. Hawk and Aaron Jones, you're going to have that. His bad throws went from 17.8% 2019 to 18.2 to 18.5 2020 and 2021, and then it went massively low to 15% in 2024. Once again, receivers are there. The interception rate dropped from 3.0 to 3.2 with the average, and from 2019 to 2021 to 2.2 in 2024. So he threw a lot less picks, which I guess is good. But once again, he has those receivers. He had 8 fumbles last year, which isn't that bad, honestly. That's about normal for like a quarterback who has a decent line. He will obviously not have a repeat year, 35 touchdowns. I think 12 picks. He might have the 12 picks, but I don't think he's going to get the 35 touchdowns. But he does have JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba and Cooper Kupp, very formidable receivers. And Darnold definitely has a better running game than Minnesota did. So he may, use those receivers in the end zone, in the red zone, especially Cooper Kupp. I believe Darnold will be between like a quarterback 12 and a quarterback 18. He'll have like the points. I don't think he'll be a top 10 this year. Touchdowns will definitely dip. And then I think it would be like 25 touchdowns he'll get, maybe 28, between that range. I would expect a lot, and I mean a lot of short passes. A couple of us will run the short passes. JSN loves to run short passes, and those 2 running backs love to get the ball in their hands. So not expecting too much from Sam Darnold, but he's the decent quarterback. If you have him on your roster, and let's just say your team is really really good, and you have a bunch of receivers, a bunch of running backs, and a tight end, and keep him. He'll get you. He'll be less consistent than like Jordan Love, but he'll get around those types of points.
Right. And then my next quarterback is Bo Nix. His rookie season, he threw for 3,775 yards with 29 touchdowns and 12 picks. He had 567 attempts, 83 bad throws out of those 67 attempts. He was pressured 102 times. He had 92 rushing attempts for 430 yards and 4 touchdowns. He was 6th in the league for passing attempts. He had 3 game-winning drives, so I guess he's kind of got a clutch factor about him, which drives me crazy because I did not like him in college for all 5 years he was there, maybe 6. I'm not sure because there's the COVID year. And in our league, he had 354.95 points, and that came out to 20.88 per game. It seems like Sean Payton's trying to build up the run game a little bit more, so that might relieve a little bit of pressure off him. So he could have an even better season next year if he continues to grow. They don't, at least in my opinion, they don't have the strongest receiving weapons. Like, I know Cortland Sutton just got signed. We'll see what Marvin Mims is or Troy Franklin. I know they drafted the kid. I can't remember where he went to college, but they drafted Pat Bryant. And who's their tight end now? Because Noah Fant was on the Seahawks. I can't remember their tight end.
Yeah, can come up.
I guess he's kind of irrelevant. So I do expect them maybe in the free agents next year to either sign a receiver or draft one because it's kind of a thin core.
You could turn cool from it.
Yeah. But yeah, Bo Nix was very surprising to me because I did not think he would have had a rookie season like he did. Maybe it's a combination of a very senior head coach that knows how to ease young players into a situation. But we'll have to see what the 2026 season brings us. Or 25-26.
All right, so we're going to start with the no superflex first. So this is how I did it. So I have like a tier 1. And the top 2 are regardless for me. It's Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. Flip them in order, whatever you want. Those are the 2 main guys. I guess you can consider them tier 1 and then the rest tier 2. But I have them all in tier 1. I have about 9 people. So the ones that can be interchangeable, this is just my opinion. I put Jahmyr Gibbs at 3, Malik Neighbors at 4, Puka Nacua at 5, Bijan Robinson at 6, CeeDee Lamb at 7, Amon-Ra St. Brown at 8, and Brock Bowers at 9. Those are all interchangeable depending how you like certain people and depending how you think the draft is going to go for you to pick in the second round. There's not much for like who has the edge over each other. You can look at age, but sometimes if you're like 26 and one guy's 28, I don't see the biggest difference in my opinion. I'm just going to go with the person who I think is going to have the better next 2 or 3 years. So in my opinion, that's kind of how I put it.
What number did you stop
at? 9.
9. All right. So for me, the number one choice was Jamar Chase. That's who I put. I know, like you said a little bit ago, him and Justin Jefferson, I'm sure you could switch out easily, but Jamar Chase definitely has the yards after catch attribute about him. Number 2 is Justin Jefferson for me.
Not only that, for Jamar Chase, like sometimes you want that receiver who is going to go off and get like 3 touchdowns in one game. So he'll have that massive 32-point game, and then he'll like during like the middle of the season he'll have 1 or 2 games where he has like 12. Justin Jefferson seems to be very consistent throughout, where he'll have like probably 20 to 25 each game. But I don't think I've ever seen him get like 3 touchdowns in one game like Jamar Chase has. So that's why I kind of put Jamar Chase above Justin Jefferson.
Plus, Jamar Chase has a safer quarterback option.
That's true.
Number 3, I got Jahmyr Gibbs. I know maybe some of the the dynasty community might put like Bijan or Saquon ahead of him, but to me, I just feel like his upside is like untapped yet. And he is supposed to get more percentage of the carries this year too.
I think he's going to be more vocal in the offense since Ben Johnson's gone, because I feel like Ben Johnson loves to pass way more than anything.
And then number 4, I did put Bijan Robinson. Number 5, I have Malik Neighbors. 6, this one was a little, I felt like it was a little too high for me, but I was just giving him the benefit of the doubt because of injuries last year. But I put CeeDee Lamb at 6. I have Puka Nacua at 7. Ashton Genty at 8. Brian Thomas Jr. at 9. Amara St. Brown at 10. And number 11, I have Brock Bowers.
So what made you put, what's his name?
Ashton
Genty up there.
I just think he's going to have like a crazy overload of work in the receiving game and rushing game.
Okay. All right, so for my next tier 2, name off about 8 players, and once again, these are interchangeable. This is just my personal way that I would draft them. I have Drake London at 10, Brian Thomas Jr. at 11, Garrett Wilson at 12, Josh Allen at 13, Marvin Harrison Jr. at 14, JSN at 15, Saquon Barkley at 16, Jonathan Taylor at 17, and Jaden Daniels at 18. And that would be my tier 2 or tier 3 if you want to put Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson in tier 1.
All right, and then the rest of my list was at 12. This was probably the oldest player I have on this list, but I did put Saquon at 12 just because he had a crazy year last year, which is honestly, when I was looking up his stats, it's crazy. His rookie year, he had more fantasy points than this current year.
Crazy. It must have been, wasn't touching. It must have been just the receptions. He must have got like ungodly numbers.
And then 13, I have Nico Collins, just because I think he's going to be the clear-cut wide receiver 1 there. Joe Mixon is injured. I know they'd signed Nick Chubb, but I think they're just going to be a really pass-heavy offense. Number 14, I have Omarion Hampton. Number 15, I have Drake London. What number did you stop at?
18.
All right. 16, I have Bucky Irving. 17, I have JSN. And 18, I have Devon Achane, which that was, I didn't really know where to put Devon Achane on this list. Like, honestly, the whole Miami Dolphins scenario is like kind of a question to me. I just know what he has done before. Like, he's a very reception-heavy running back, and the few times he has like had a full start, like he's had multiple touchdown games. So I gave him the benefit of the doubt on that one.
Yeah, you went running back heavy, which is fine. It's all in your preference. So he would go running back heavy, and I just kind of go, I guess I go receiver heavy, to be honest. To finish up the top 24, 19, I had Ashton Genty. 20, I had Nico Collins. 21, I had Lamar Jackson. 22, I had Bucky Irving. 23, I had A.J. Brown. And 24, I had Devon Achane. I could also put like I'm going to mention a couple, I guess, honorable mentions that you can interchange in between there, and that was I don't even know who I wrote down.
Yeah, it looked like you wrote Lloyd on that first. Oh, Lad.
Oh yeah, Lad McConkey. All right, so I put Lad there. I'm so on him, but I can see if people are top on him. Breece Hall, Trey McBride, Rashae Rice, T. Higgins, and James Cook. Those are all like tier 3 or 4 if you want Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase in the first bracket. So those are all interchangeable. I just gave you the list that I'm with him on Devon A-Chain. Sometimes you just don't know. Like he's shown obviously flashes and he's shown he could do great work, but like you just got to see what he has to do this year. I feel like this year is going to be the year to see if he's going to be that superstar running back.
All right, and then the rest of my list, I have at 19 Garrett Wilson. Number 20, I did put Trey McBride. 21, I have Breece Hall. 22, Marvin Harrison Jr. 23, Josh Allen, and 24, Jonathan Taylor.
I haven't said two. All right.
So honestly, our lists were pretty similar. I think the only person I had on my list that you didn't was Marvin.
Yeah. No, I had Marvin at 14.
Oh, was it? Okay.
I think it was Trey McBride, and then obviously you had Ashton Genty a little bit, quite higher. But other than that, yeah, and Nico Collins. But other than that, we were pretty even. I had a little bit more quarterbacks. I had 2 more quarterbacks.
Yeah, and I only had one on the QB1 list.
I'm just thinking of like rush yards. So Lamar Jackson is like huge for me. Jaden Daniels huge for me. So that's what I'm getting back from. I like to have a quarterback. Honestly, in Dynasty, it sounds funny, but they're not as important as running backs and receivers, in my opinion.
That's why I didn't have 3 quarterbacks on my list.
Yeah, I just personally like to have that quarterback to make sure that we're good on that. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and Superflex. You can go ahead and start.
All right, let's just do 6 at a time. And we'll talk. All right, and then for our Superflex rankings, we did another just 24 picks. Obviously, it's quarterback heavy. So at 1, I have Josh Allen. Number 2, I have Jaden Daniels. Number 3, I have Lamar Jackson. Number 4, I have Jamar Chase. Number 5, I have Joe Burrow. And number 6, I have Justin Jefferson.
So I put it in tiers 2. Tier 1, I had Josh Allen. Number 2, Jaden Daniels. Number 3, Lamar Jackson. Number 4, Patrick Mahomes. Number 5, Joe Burrow. And then I have a second tier after that.
All right. Then I have, after Justin Jefferson was my last one I said. So after that, I have Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson. Then 9, I have Jalen Hurts. 10, Malik Neighbors. 11, CeeDee Lamb. 12, Puka Nacua.
In my tier 2, I had 6. At 6, I had Jalen Hurts. 7, I had Jamar Chase. 8, I had Justin Jefferson. 9, I had C.J. Stroud. 10, I had Jahmyr Gibbs. 11, I had Malik Neighbors. 12, I had Puka Nacua. 13, I had Bijan Robinson. 14, I had CeeDee Lamb. And 15, I had Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Right. And then for me, I had 13. That's when I put Patrick Mahomes on my list. 14, I have Ashton Genty. 15, Brian Thomas Jr. 16, Amon-Ra St. Brown. 17, Brock Bowers. 18, Saquon Barkley. And 19, I have Bo Nix.
And then my final 24, this is just tier 3. I had Justin Herbert at 16. 17, I had Brock Bowers. 18, I had Caleb Williams. 19, I had Jordan Love. 20, I had Bo Nix. 21, I had Marvin Harrison Jr. 22, I had Brian Thomas Jr. 23, I had Garrett Wilson Jr. And 24, I just put Brock Purdy on the basis that he's consistent.
All right. And then my final 4 is 20, I have Nico Collins. 21, I put Caleb Williams. 22, I have Drake May. 23, Omarion Hampton. And 24, Drake London.
That's all we have today. Let me know your comments. Sorry we had to split up the videos. I'll have to fix my phone. Apparently I don't have enough storage. So we'll fix that. But see you guys later, and thanks for watching.